Recorded live at the V3 TV studio in sunny England, it's the Vaughn Johseph Show.
People of Earth, welcome to the show. It is Vaughn Johseph coming at you live and direct with a little bit of thoughts from LA to the UK. Of course, I am the UK segment of this show, and I've got my man all the way in California who will be joining us momentarily, Mr. AlfonZo Rachel. So I've been watching a lot of news lately. Apparently, there's been a little bit of upheaval going on back in the United States, all over the world, really. I was seeing today where I think it was Romania is just rioting in the streets. They had like 250,000 people that were out fighting the police. Chaos, you guys, chaos, corruption, and all kinds of stuff going on a global scale. If Marvin Gaye were still alive, he'd probably say, what's going on? I don't know. I don't have an answer for Brother Marvin. So California, that's where I was from before I came to sunny England. It sounds a bit funny, I know. And there's been a lot of California in the news as of late. So you know that President Donald Trump wants to build a wall on the southern border, and they're saying, who's going to pay for it? And if you build the wall and try to charge Mexico for it, we're just going to charge you $5 for avocados and something crazy like that. So I don't know, but we'll see what happens. I'm sure there will be other options available to them, but also something that I've seen is this thing from a group in California called Yes California. So these hardworking campaigners could be about to do for California what the Leave campaigners did for the United Kingdom. As you may remember, Brexit. We decided here, I didn't get to vote because I don't vote, but I don't have that option. So in California, they're doing Calexit, kind of like Brexit, but California. So it could be a reality, you guys. In the wake of Donald Trump's elections, Californians are fighting to succeed from the United States. It's the craziest thing I've heard since yesterday. So on Thursday, the Secretary of State in California, Alex Padilla, cleared the proposal, the initiative, and to start collecting signatures for this exit. And if enough signatures are collected, Calexit could be on a ballot at a voting booth near you in 2018. So if this ballot gains the majority of voters, it would repeal clauses in the California Constitution stating that the state is an inseparable part of the United States and that the U.S. Constitution is the supreme law of the land. So this would mean California could in fact govern itself. Other people in California would like to break it into smaller parts. So that is a bit nuts for me, and I don't know what to really think about it. But the Yes California campaigners for the proposal have argued the state is culturally out of step with the rest of the United States. So, Zoe, what do you think about this, brother?
But no, you're right, man. I think there's a lot of that elitist mindset where California, all these liberals here, they just really think that they're just so much, intellectually superior to everybody else. And no, that's just not going to work. Let's start with, okay, they want to secede from the union. That ain't going to last long. Ain't going to last long at all because California's going to miss that federal money. California wants that federal money, so they're going to be running back to mommy with the quickness. And also, California is did they consider who's going to try to end up annexing California? California probably end up becoming a product of Russia in no time, or some other communist nation that they would just end up bidding over to. So no, there's not going to be a secession.
I think Canada said that we would be happy to welcome California, Oregon, and Washington. They just want to take over the whole Western.
No, they won't. No, they won't. Because Canada even said too many of y'all are coming up here and trying to take advantage of our healthcare program, and you need to stop. Canada that's lip service, man. Canada is not going to take these left-wing states that we have.
I noticed California has the state of California itself is the most electoral college votes. I think they've got like 55 or something like that. So California apparently, in the eyes of this particular group, yes, California, they lose by being a part of America culturally and financially. So,
Seriously.
if they leave, they're going to be kind of like a little England over there. And we always thought, California was going to fall off into the sea. But you have to think about this, and this just popped into my head with King. I can't pronounce the guy's name. Kim Jong Un, the Un. Il was the father. North Korea, he's ready to blow it up. So California won't have enough military to sustain an attack from this maniac over there.
Right, all the protesting in the world, man. What y'all gonna do? You gonna resist them them bombs with picket signs and vagina costumes? I don't think that's gonna work.
He's gonna launch those ballistic missiles on those guys, man. I think he's coming in for moving in for the kill over there. California is 61.5%. Or at least 61.5% voted for Hillary versus the 31.5% that voted for Trump. So it's definitely the kind of state that would probably do something like that. Do you think that it's not something that would be potentially feasible?
Like I said before, they're gonna miss that federal money. That's one of the reasons why California gets so. They're always the ones looking for reasons to get into the pocket of the rest of the union. So they're not going to leave. Let me put it like this. I'll make this even more simple. All those celebrities that said that they were going to leave, did they leave? Like you just left.
Sorry about that.
And of course he came back.
I had to step off. I was hoping you wouldn't see that. So I think if they do decide to do something like this, right? What happens with the fact that we have this big immigration issue going on right now, and like we said before last week when we spoke, that they aren't really necessarily enforcing. They're not enforcing these immigration laws. Do you think that the President Trump or his administration will then cut off federal funds with regards to something like that? Because he had these sanctuary cities. I saw a protest in UC Berkeley today on the news that they were rioting up there because they were due to come up there and speak, and because it's a sanctuary school or something to that effect. Do you think that's going to have an effect on federal funding then if they don't start to implement or enforce the federal laws?
No. What I was going to say was, I think it's funny how these people they want us to have these sanctuary cities. They want us to be all welcoming and open arms and like, yes, let everybody in. It's like you want us to let everybody in, but you're the ones threatening to leave. Why would you? If this place sucks so bad where you don't want to be here, why are you encouraging others to come here? That don't make no sense.
I think that's part of the total package is that they're so upset with, well, I'm just saying California, for example. They're so upset with the current administration. Why? Well, whatever. That's neither here nor there. But that if they leave and they are in welcoming all these external entities, then they can be a part of this whole new California, this whole new America that they're trying to create. So the California Exit Initiative, in order for it to qualify to be put on the ballot, they need something like 585,000 votes or valid signatures from registered voters, of course. I'm assuming they all have to be alive, but we do know that's been in question in the past. But they have to get it over the next 180 days. So they just have a short time frame in order to get this all situated. Otherwise, it won't make it to the ballot. So.
Man, it's like I said, if they'll tax the dead, they'll take their votes too.
Yeah, they'll take the votes. They need the votes. If that's because over 500,000 people is a lot of signatures to go out and get. But I think they can probably get the signatures, but I don't think that they will get. I don't think it would ever happen. Like you said, not so much because of the federal funding. But just I don't see things like that happening. I don't think that that it would be feasible for them to leave, and the government's not going to allow. California's always been broke anyway, and somebody said that they had like I forget what number it was, but like one of the highest incomes in the country, or maybe even in the world. But when I was there, California was almost bankrupt, if I do recall correctly.
Well, I mean, in terms of like those who live here, those who have amassed some pretty good wealth, they do live here. It's just policies that we have that just what goes into the economy just ends up going into oblivion or something like that. I don't know where it goes, but money is made here. It's just between the regulations, the taxes, all these programs, registration fees, and all that sort of stuff like that. It's people really can, it's just hard to keep money here.
Well, you guys are definitely going to have to start growing your own and selling your own avocados if you guys put this wall up on the southern border. And you're going to have to stop drinking Dos Equis and Corona because apparently Mexico is going to start taxing the holy crap out of you guys over there. So,
Well, some of that money just might be made back with how much, money won't have to come out of the pockets of U.S. citizens to be able to facilitate, those who come over illegally and, having to pay for, their education and health expenses and things like that. So somewhere around that cost will get covered. Yeah, internally, I mean, it definitely, it could be a lot worse. I mean, there's some other, countries and, other provinces that have, some nasty, civil unrest where they are. But it's like when you look at the United States, it's like you look at what we got and I'm like, really? It's like, how is it that people, it's like, how y'all gonna be so miserable, man? I mean, it just, United States is just going through some spoiled brat catharsis right now. That's really what it comes down to. And, a lot of people want to be seen as intelligent and they use cynicism and misery as a supplement. They want to be critical of everything. They think that they have like some sort of injustice to protest against. That's their supplement for intelligence, you know, and it sucks, man. It's like, really, it's like you don't think about what you can do for mankind. You're only thinking about what you can get, and the thing that you want to get is the perception that you're a good person seeking justice. It's like, nah, man, you just suck. So quit your buttering, man. This is like the land of milk and honey. Really? And you guys you still really want to go around with this? Come on, man.
I think social media might have played a considerable part in that in this outcome. I mean, over the years, we've had the Facebook and Twitter and MySpace and whatever, and it's given a platform for people to have an opinion on what seems to be just about everything.
Huh.
And now, once something happens in real life and not just on their computer screen, they feel, oh well, I have to say something about this.
Yeah.
We need to get together and assemble and say something about this. And what do you think? Should we say something about this? I think we should say something about this. So and we need to be heard. So
Right.
and that's fine. That's what America is all about, the right to assemble and free speech and so on and so forth. But you need to pick and choose your battles. There's a lot of things in life that are going to upset you. And that doesn't mean that you should automatically decide that you need to have an opinion or voice that opinion every time there's something that's upsetting you. Because there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be a lot worse than what you're probably dealing with right now. So, well, I don't have anything else, man. I'm wishing you guys luck in California.
Thanks.
Hopefully, you guys don't get nuked by North Korea and fall into the ocean. We always thought it was going to be an earthquake. It might not be an earthquake. That makes you guys an island like us in England. But if you guys do decide to secede from the Union, I can't wait to get a new California hat, the United, counties of California, like it'd be like Benetton or something like that.
Oh, boy.
So we'll see what happens with that, man. What's going on with Zoloft?
Zoloft still. Matter of fact, I'm getting ready to. I'm getting my script drawn up today, and hopefully shoot that and either release it later tonight or sometime tomorrow. Gonna talk a little bit about this little immigration thing that we got going on, and I'm going in the direction of people who are trying to call Christians hypocrites or try to use scripture against us concerning taking in refugees. And people who selectively and cherry pick the Bible to try to make their claim that really doesn't stick. So doing the Zoloft and yeah, that's what I got cooking.
Excellent. We'll speak to you next week. You guys head over and catch the Zoloft on AlfonZoRachel.com. You can also catch him up on YouTube. He's going to go into a little bit more in depth with regards to the whole immigration thing that's going on. We'll catch up with you next week, my brother, and thanks for calling in. We love having you on. We appreciate you taking the time to sit and chat with us over here in England.
Heck yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Right on, bro. Thank you.